What's going on, great people? It is our homie, the one and only Ashton Reynolds. Hey, welcome to another episode of Millennial Talk, Koast Edition here on the incredible WCEG Network, the Worldwide Community Empowerment Group. The name explains what we're about so eloquently, empowering everybody in the community, which is our whole world in which we live in. Great people, this is a very special episode, and I'm so glad to have this honorary guest that I have today. She's done so much in the community, serving as a 4-term state representative in the House of Representatives. She has done so much in the community. She has passed so many laws, such as the Landon Dunson Act, which put video cameras in special needs classrooms to ensure that they are protected, and done a multitude of things for the youth, such as the Teen Summit that she put together in February. Great people. She's now running for the open congressional seat. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to prolong this interview right here with the extended introduction. I introduce to you the incredible Valencia Stovall. How you doing, Honorary Valencia Stovall? How you doing?
I am doing wonderful. It is so exciting to see you and to be on your show again, especially during this election time.
Yes. It's so awesome to have you. I know you've been very, very busy with your campaign and things of that nature, and I'm just so thankful that you took some time out of your schedule to join us here on Millennial Talk, Koast Edition. But I know I had listed out a couple of your accolades, but I want people to know exactly who you are. For those who haven't tuned in, we had a lot of fun helping out with her campaign, which she ran last year with Stovall's Millennial Ball, where she was able to expound on who she is as a person. But for those who are new to the show, new to the platform, I would love for you to answer this question, Ms. Stovall. Who, in your own words, is Valencia Stovall?
Well, thank you again to the listening audience. Valencia Stovall is a native of Atlanta. I was born and raised. I'm a mother of two, and I reside between Atlanta and Forest Park because I'm helping my dad, who's 81 years old. So I consider two residences. But I have 8 years. I call it 8-30-30, which is 8 years as a legislator, 30 years as a community supporter, advocate, and 30 years as a business owner. And during my time as a legislator, like you mentioned earlier, I was able to sponsor and co-sponsor over a dozen laws that are now signed into law that are actually on the books in the state of Georgia. And because we have a deficit for the state of Georgia in Congress, that is why I'm running for Congressional District 5. We need someone who is bold, who's committed, solution-driven, and can get the job done. And those are things I've been able to successfully do the 8 years that I stayed in office. And also, even after leaving office, you mentioned about the Teen Summit and also co-hosting a back-to-school event. So very involved in the community, all about the people. And that's what I'm basing my campaign on. And my platform is very simple. It's the buck, the book, and the ballot. The buck is economic rejuvenation. The book is education reimagined. And the ballot is voter education. And of course, when I first heard those phrases, they were from Mayor Maynard Jackson, who was the first African-American mayor of a southern city and of the city of Atlanta. And my dad served as his community liaison for both terms of office. So, and those are actually phrases I used when I first ran for office in 2012.
That is incredible right there. See, great people, I told you you were in for a treat today. And I'm just so thankful to have you here as a guest, because the young people, one thing that they really love is, outside of the accolades, is the fact that you value them and the needs for, necessary advancements in certain areas within the communities. So you have mentioned your father, Levette Stovall, how he was such an integral part in community development and things of that nature. Was this something that you always wanted to do as a result of watching him, or was it just something that you just walked into and it was like, you know what, I guess this is meant for me?
Well, it's actually something I walked into. My dad has, of course, been involved with politics in Atlanta and even across the state of Georgia. And as a small child, my sisters and I, followed him around. He's a strong community advocate, PTA president, all the officers, even when he didn't have kids in the school system, he still was PTA president. He was, and so all about serving the people is what, he's taught my sisters and I to do. And when in 2012, when the state representative position became open, my dad said, "Won't you run?" And I was like, "No, I don't think I'm gonna run." He said, "Yeah, you should run. You're not doing nothing." And I was like, "Yeah, I'm doing something." But what he was saying was that you're not doing enough to serve the people in the capacity where you really want to be. And being in that position gives you the ability to really serve a massive amount of people and really make a change. And so we decided to run. I was successful, like you said, the 4 terms, a total of 8 years. And then I decided not to seek re-election, and we ended up running for U.S. Senate 2 years ago. And so now we're back in. Yeah, so we had a lot of people contacting me, asking me to get back into public service and asking me to run for Congressional District 5.
That is amazing. Now, was that a tough decision to make, or was it like, yes, this was easy, I want to get back into doing it? Because I remember you was like, okay, once I, when you stepped away from the state representative seat and you ran for U.S. Senate, I know you was doing a lot within the community. So when those calls came in, was it something that you was like, you know what, I'm going to do it because I wanted to? Or it was like, you know what, I'm going to meet that need of effective leadership as a result of a vacant seat in the Senate?
Well, it actually came about. It was a tough decision to make to get back into public service. But as I looked around, especially even after COVID, all of the effects of long COVID, what's going on with healthcare, what's going on with small business, justice reform, our senior citizens, people with disabilities, veterans, and the list goes on. And so after seeing all of that, when they asked Valencia to go back in, I understood more clearly what it takes as being an elected official, and now on the federal level. So I know what it was like on the state level. And so as a U.S. representative, I would just be continuing, duplicating what I did on the state, but even on a greater level, and being able to service and help more people.
That is amazing right there. And I'm glad that you listed out some of those credentials as well in the aforementioned portion of this interview, such as how you have been a part of a lot of big signed bills that help improve the lives of Georgians and things of that nature. But more importantly, with the work that you've done, you have developed a great name and have a great reputation within the community. And since we have a lot of young people that tune in, could you just emphasize the importance of having a great reputation, great work ethic, and those intangibles in order to continue to move forward in any field of expertise that they want to go forward in?
Yes, definitely it's important. Integrity is important in having a good name. Right now, as young people, you might not think of a lot about what's going to happen in the future. But, with technology, it captures everything you say, everything you do. And so, and as you matriculate into adulthood, and for those who have not reached adulthood, and even those who we're considered young adults like yourself, you want to make sure that your word is your word, and that people will come up to you and say they've been watching you. Sometimes you don't think people are watching, but they are watching. And so as a result of people watching me for all those years, and even before I ran for office, I was PTA president, all the offices that you can hold in PTA, and then in the community in Atlanta, the neighborhood planning unit, Y, which is set up for communities to decide what development they want in their community. I served as secretary. And so in all of those areas, it was having a good name, starting with my dad and my mom. And, my dad has a bridge that's named after him on I-75, 85 University Avenue. And that didn't come about just because somebody wanted to have his name on there. It came about because he put in the work early on in the community, and he still has a good name. And so as a result, My sisters and I have to carry on, still having a good name. Same thing I tell my children is that people are always watching, even when you think they're not watching.
Truer words have never been spoken, because I've definitely been one who's recognizing that now, especially when I'm out in the community with the younger generation. I can say that now, because for those who are watching here, this will be the last episode in which I'll be 27. So the next one you see, I'll be 28. So I'm kind of getting up the ladder, so I can kind of say it now. But but just being around them, I know that they're watching, and the fact that they are watching, and our actions speak louder than our words. Just for you being a person that's all about action and actually taking a stand and going for what you believe in and fighting for what you believe in to benefit us all. Let's talk about that process right there, because I know with you being in office and being in those rooms to make decisions, there are some times where they try to shoot down some ideas that you throw out there at them. Am I correct in saying that?
Oh, most definitely. One of those areas that I do very well as far as advocating for. Like I said, all issues are important. But one of the things that I took to heart was education. And because every student deserves to have that best foundation of education, so it prepares them for the future. And when we don't have it and our education system is not student centered, that there are some kids that are very good with their hands. But our education system that we have set up is, based on you sit down in the classroom and you listen to the teacher. Well, all children can't learn like that. And so we need to have a robust education system that would take into account each level of each child of what they're learning, like the apprenticeship program. That allows the students to be able to learn while they are earning money. And so that does not prevent them from doing higher education as far as, going to college. At least now when they age out of the traditional setting, they're able to take care of themselves and their family and earn a good living wage, that's something that they can be proud about. And then, too, with that trade, they can take it anywhere in the world. That's something that you can't take away, from that person, is that trade that they've earned. And so, those focus areas like that, of course, having parents to be able to make the decision for the best education setting was one of those areas where I had to fight very hard. And a lot of times, the same people in my same party did not agree with me. But being persistent and being firm on what you believe in is very important. And also being able to explain why you believe the way that you believe. And so, from having children in the school system, nieces and nephews, and then just my constituents who I represented, I saw that there was a need for me to fight for a better education for them.
That's amazing right there. Great people who are tuned in to the show right now. This is Millennial Talk on Blessed Koast Edition here on WCEG Network, the Worldwide Community Empowerment Group. I have my honorary guest, Miss Valencia Stovall, the former state representative who is running for the open U.S. Congress seat from the Democratic Party. And I just want to let it be known right now that early voting starts May 2nd through the 23rd. And the primary election is May 24th. So I want you all to keep those dates in mind. And when it's time to go hit those polls, y'all go out there and vote. I have a candidate here who is definitely taking all of y'all concerns to heart. So that way some legislation can definitely be implemented inside of the law. So that way everything is covered for the betterment of the future. Great people, go ahead and vote. And for those who have some ill will feelings about voting, feeling like you really don't take into consideration what it is that you're saying, here's an individual right here that is really listing out some necessary changes that she wants to make once she gets into the seat. And what we need for you to do is go ahead and vote. But for those who feel like voting is unnecessary, I would like for you to answer this question for me here, Honorable Stovall. What is the importance for voting? Why should they go vote?
Well, part of my platform is the ballot. And ballot is voter education. It's not just enough for you to register, but you must go and vote. And the reason you should vote is that everything that you do is followed by policy. Policy determines everything that you're going to do in your life, how you can spend your money, where businesses are going to come to your community, how the education system is going to be, where you can worship, where you can't worship, so and where you might go and hang out. All of those things are determined by policies. And so if you want things better for your community, don't complain about it. You have to vote and elect those people in office that are going to be for your best interest.
Most definitely. I hope you all take heed to what she said right there and hit those polls. And once again, I'm going to say early voting starts May 2nd through the 23rd. And the primary election is May 24th. So y'all go ahead and hit those polls. And also, just so that you all know, once again, I'm going to list off some of the things that she has done. And Ms. Stovall, you can go ahead and expound on some of these things here. Let's start with the Landon Dunson Act, which put video cameras in special needs classrooms for their protection. You could go ahead and elaborate on that. Like, what caused for you to say, hey, this needs to be in effect? What was the event that made that come into fruition?
Well, again, I talked about being community focused. Feedback. Okay. All right. About being community focused. And I actually was at a parent meeting, and a parent, Landon's mom, who was Lala Dunson, approached me about an incident that happened with her son where he had a scratch on his head. And her son, Landon, is autistic, and he's nonverbal, which means he cannot, speak on his own. And so she asked me about a legislation about putting cameras in the classroom of special needs students who are self-contained, which means they're the only ones that are in that classroom. And so I told her, I said, well, let me go and think about it and see, how we can make that happen. I was a newly elected legislator, so I had not learned all the ins and outs. But we stuck with it. It took us 2 years to get it passed, and but we got it done, and it was signed into law in May of 2016. And so it's the HB House Bill 614, the Landon Dunson Act. And it not only protects the children, but it also protects the educators, because sometimes they are falsely accused as well.
That's what I'm talking about right there. Man, this is amazing right here. I mean, I'm sitting here looking down at the list of some of your the accolades and the things that you have done. It just really shows your heart, like what you really are about the community, being about furthering education and economic growth. As you also held leadership positions on the education committee and served on House committees for small businesses, economic development, and interstate coordination. So I'm just letting that be known so that you all can see the type of person that she really is. Someone who actually is an effective leader, taking all things into account so that way, she can really voice your opinions and your concerns and get them properly heard. But since I had let that information out right there, the floor is yours, Ms. Stovall, so that way you can go into further detail about your platform and all that is to come and what you have done already.
Yes, I definitely invite your listeners to go to koastovall.com. It's GOSTOVALL.com. You can find all the other additional information about myself, things that I've done. And also, if you wish to donate to the campaign, we definitely welcome any amount so that we can help get the word out. And if you'd like to volunteer, there's a segment on there as well. And most importantly, I would like to ask your listeners to spread the word about Congressional District 5 and voting Stovall, that's all. And in that particular district, so people will know, it takes in all of the city of Atlanta. So every part of the city of Atlanta, all of Hapeville, all of East Point, a portion of College Park in Clayton County and in Fulton County, the Camp Creek area, and then it goes north up to portions of Sandy Springs. It goes east over to North Druid Hills, North Decatur area, Emory, that Emory area, and then comes down to Southwest DeKalb, comes back into Connolly and Forest Park. So it's a very big district, but word of mouth. When we had our when my parents created our Stovall's T-shirts business, it was word of mouth that kept us alive. And so, it still hasn't gone anywhere. It's still good today, even with technology. Just now we can use technology to be word of mouth. So I need for your listeners to use word of mouth and follow me on all of the social media platforms, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and LinkedIn, at Valencia Stovall.
There you have it, great people. Y'all follow her at Valencia Stovall, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, www.koaststovall.com. That is the website. Also utilize the hashtags, great people, because as she just pointed out, word of mouth has spread into the social media era because you use them in the form of hashtags, so hashtag Stovall for Congress. That's one of the hashtags that she uses right there. And I want you all to use it as well so that it can shed light on the things that she do and let it be known that she will be on that ballot. I'm going to say it once again. May 2nd is the first day of early voting, and it goes all the way to May 23rd. May 24th, that is the primary election. So go ahead, cast your vote when it's time. And remember, utilize the hashtag Stovall for Congress. And also the book, and the ballot, because she's all about economic growth. She's all about education. She's also about voting information. Are there any final words that you want to have and leave for the people that is listening and viewing this episode of Millennial Talk, Blessed Koast Edition? Because this has been an incredible episode. Any final words that you have?
Yes, thank you again, Ashton, and the Blessed Koast family, WCEG, and all of your listeners. Definitely, if you're looking for someone again who's bold, who's committed to the people, solution driven, and there are a lot of issues that I know our young people are facing, definitely I'll be a voice for you in Washington, D.C. And also being able to listen, being able to even create some working groups to make sure that we're staying in contact with what the needs are of the people, even though I will be in Washington, D.C. So remember, go Stovall.com, and I thank you again, Ashton, for this interview. And definitely continue to check out our website for upcoming events. We're actually going to be doing a movie screening of Miss Virginia, who is about a parent who struggled with getting the best education for her student up in Washington, D.C. But it's very relevant because many of our parents today are facing those same challenges with making sure that their children are educated.
That is amazing. We can't end the interview right quick without you mentioning what you do for single parents. I've seen on Instagram that you had there was a nomination thing that you was doing for those who for single parents. Could you share some more information about that?
Yeah. So in 2018, or May of 2018, a bill was signed into law that I actually sponsored, and it was designating Single Parents Day in the state of Georgia as March the 21st. So March the 21st, every year in the state of Georgia, is the time that we celebrate single parents. We celebrate them every day, and as a single parent myself, and it's about bringing awareness and also resources. So we have a nomination process. It has already passed, but the clip or the promotion that you saw was the honorees that we are honoring with Single Parents Day, and it'll be in August when we're actually doing that event. But we recognize them down at the state capitol, and then we also recognize them with being able to receive an award for them being an outstanding parent, raising their children and grandchildren.
That is amazing. And information just came in that said that our very own WCEG family member, Wardell Richardson, was a nominee. And for those who want to know how incredible Miss Valencia Stovall is even more, again, go to her website, www.koaststovall.com. Again, early voting starts May 2nd. I got to keep emphasizing that because here you have someone who is on the ballot that will go to Washington, D.C. and be sitting in that congressional seat ensuring that all of the voices and all of the concerns that you're voicing will be heard and brought to the table, because as she said, she will make sure of it, because that's what she's all about. And you can read about that more when you go to her website, www.koaststovall.com, and utilize those hashtags on social media. Stovall for Congress and the book, the ballot. Miss Stovall, thank you so much for being an incredible guest here on the show, Millennial Talk West Coast Edition. And also, one final thing, on Mondays from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m., Valencia Stovall hosts a show called Issues and Answers. So you can also tune into her show. It's on Mondays from 4 p.m. to 5 p.m. So that way, when she sits with a guest and they have a specific topic, you can go ahead and if you have issues or questions, you can go ahead and type them up. You will have answers for them, and boom, you'll be talking live with her, and you can also know more about her as well. So you can see that what I'm reading off of this sheet and what she's actually portraying and displaying to you is really what she's all about. Honorable Stovall, thank you so much for being an incredible guest.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Until the
You're
next
welcome.
time.
Oh, yes, next time. And you know, we're going to be talking even further because I truly believe in you, and we got work to do. So thank you.
Yes. Thank you.
All right, now. Great people that have been tuning in thus far. This is WCEG Millennial Talk Blessed Coast Edition here on the incredible WCEG Network, the Worldwide Community Empowerment Group. Thank you all so much for tuning in to this very special episode. Like I said before, I've worked with this incredible lady who has been the former Georgia State Representative for 4 terms. So she's been doing this for quite some time. I know her personally, and I can personally say that I'm not just bigging her up just because she had joined my show today. I've really seen her work. I've had conversation with her, and she always sits and listens so that way we can have the solutions to these problems that are in our communities for all of us to benefit, not just in particular communities, but for all of Georgia. That's what she's all about. And that right there is what I stand for as well. I'm a firm believer in the progression of education, economic development, voting information, and all of that good stuff. So that way, the next generation can have somebody who is an advocate for being an upstanding citizen and also knowing what is going on inside of the world today. Because if we don't know what's going on, we won't know exactly how to provide an accurate solution to these problems that plagues our communities today. No matter if it's financial, no matter if it's between you and I over race or anything like that, because we are all here for one thing, and that is to live a prosperous life before we get up out of this life, for sure. I am a firm advocate and believer in that, and you already see, if you can check out my banner, Blessed Coast, that's where I reside, and the blessed side is truly the best side, and that's what I want you all to feel and understand as well. So y'all continue to go check out Valencia Stovall. Don't just take my word for it. The word says, study to show thyself approved. So I want you and encourage you all to do research as well on all of the candidates that are on that ballot. But since she was the guest up here, I want you to know she has the 8-30-30, 8 years proven as a legislator, 30 years of small business experience, 30 years of community service experience. So that means that she's well versed and she's well equipped, and she stand boldly on what she believes in to ensure that everybody is heard. So that way we can continue to move forward and progress so that a better tomorrow can be started today. Early voting starts May 2nd, goes all the way to the 23rd, which means it's right around the corner, y'all. It really is. It's a month away. It starts literally in a month. And also at the end of this episode right here, next time you see me, the homie will be 28. So I thank God for these opportunities here. I don't take these moments lightly. I'm just being transparent now. I don't take these moments lightly when I get to sit and converse with those who are in leadership positions, to go ahead and you know, to come on the platform and just express what it is that they do. Because I'm a firm believer in them being able to present who they really are here on this platform. So that way they can get their word out and you can see the authenticity. Anyways, I know some of you all have seen the current fiasco that's running wild on social media. You know what I'm saying? You've seen it at the Oscars. And for those who don't know what the Oscars is all about, that's like the top prestigious award for the incredible actors who are rewarded for their incredible work. Some of them, they get it quickly. Some of them, it takes time. And for those who takes time, they built up a plethora of work that you can look back on. And some of them you may say, man, they should have been had one. Or, man, they should have been had an Oscar. Or why did they get an Oscar? I didn't like that movie. Either way, the performance scale that the Academy grades an actor's or actress's performance on, the Oscars is definitely at the top upper echelon of awards to receive. And I know that what had overshadowed all of the amazing recipients of an Oscar was what had happened between Will Smith and Chris Rock. It is something that has truly been running rampant on social media, something that's been talked about all about social media, and many people have given a whole bunch of opinions. You know what I'm saying? Some people are like, it was wrong for that. Some people were saying, Chris, you did a great job. Some people say, Will, how dare you? Will, you did a great job. You stood up for your wife. Me personally, if I was Will Smith, because I can't speak for anybody else, I just know that inside of the media, there was Will Smith's relationship was on display for the world to see, and it left them open for opinions. You know what I'm saying? So those types of matters, I just want y'all to be cognitive on the things that you put out there to the media, that you allow to be open for opinions. When you are in that position and people have access to private matters, everybody's going to have something to say. Me personally, because I don't know what actually goes on, I don't speak on my opinion about it. But what I can say, for those who don't want people in their business, don't put your business out there for others to have an opinion on it. And that is something that I am firm about, because people will formulate their assumptions and assume things based on what is presented. Now, if you're going to take that and then just make your own assumptions, then what you're doing is bearing false witness, because you don't know the whole story. Me, I'm praying for everybody. I'm praying for both parties, both sides of it. And I also love the fact that, it took some brothers, some of Will Smith's counterparts, to just pull him to the side and say, hey, brother, let me cool you off right quick. And I know that people have different angles and saw that, hey, when Will did this, Jada was laughing and all of that stuff. Got people thinking at this stage. Well, I got this, great people. Inside of real life, hey, you only get one life to live right there. I don't condone you just going up and slapping somebody. The reason why is because you might get the right one on that day. And, if you get the right one that day and they retaliate in a way that, is justified in their eyes, then when you're looking from a distance, you don't know who was right or who was wrong, because all you see is two people that's fighting. You don't know what it's for. So the optics and looking outside, you're like, man, these two folks crazy. Don't put yourself in those situations, great people. Use wisdom to navigate, effectively, and also just avoid violence by any means necessary. And I say that by any means necessary because, as people, we should keep peace amongst each other. We should love each other. But I know sometimes the love got to get a little stern, and you got to let them know in a firm way that you're not the one. I've been doing that my entire life. I haven't had to use the fisticuffs, not that much, but in a firm way, they knew that I wasn't one. And that's all you have to do. Use your words. Learn conflict resolution. Learn how to use your words to articulate your emotions, so that way you don't have to resort to violence. So that way you don't have to, be seen and projected at a particular way. The reason why is because this is short and you're able to recognize the situation and what is at stake and actually utilize critical thinking skills. So that way you can avoid some of these situations, because you're not classified as a real one if all you're doing is fighting all the time. That means that you don't have this up here most of the time to be able to convey and relate how you really feel. So the only way that you can display that is by abusing and hurting somebody. That, listen, I'm all about equality, justice, and all of that stuff. But at the same time, if things can be avoided, such as violence, then avoid it. You have every right to feel how you feel, but avoid putting your hands on another individual by any means. If they come and rush you, you have every right to, move them aside, shove them aside and things of that nature, but don't escalate the situation by seeking personal revenge and saying, I'm going to ensure that they don't do nothing by boom. Because guess what? Now the tides are turned. You are not in the wrong, because now, okay, you defended yourself. They attack didn't work. So now when you move, you blocked it, defended yourself, gave them a warning. Guess what? They're still in the wrong if they keep pursuing, trying to attack you. So that's what I'm saying. Moral of the story, assess the situation and move accordingly. You know where you're at, you know what's right, you know what's wrong, and everything does not have to be tolerated, which means that I'm not going to call wrong right and right wrong. I'm telling you, because we have a moral compass that's quite broken in society. But I'm telling you, I follow one who can put that thing together, so that way everything can stay intact. I just wanted everybody to use this wisdom, because a lot of people saying that they're woke and they're this and they're that. Well, I want to see you actually utilize that wisdom. That's why the word says in the book of Proverbs, chapter 4, verse 7, in all thy getting, get understanding. So understand the situation. And the way that you can do that is by looking, observing, thinking, planning, for reacting. All of those things start internally. Here. Because guess what? Out of the abundance of the heart, the mouth speaks. So anything that comes out and any action that is done internally, it was already processed and registered. So and the Bible says, Jesus said himself, sin is a thought. So if you're going to go ahead and act out, you already thought about doing it. So think of the things that you want done to you. You want respect. You want somebody to take you seriously. Love your neighbor that way as well. So all of this nonsense could truly be avoided. That's what I stand for. That's what I'm all about. That's why I create some of the projects that I do, the music that I do, letting you know, hey, I enjoy life and I understand things happen. That's why I like to create things from an authentic perspective, meaning the things that you hear on an everyday basis, I don't have to get too explicit, because everybody knows what goes on when you're in certain neighborhoods or you're in certain settings. But I touch on it and authentically express what it is that goes on and how people actually react. Because I got family members, I used to be that. I got friends that's still in it, and a multitude of things. That's why I have this upcoming series called Becoming a Gentleman, which is the foundational series that's going to come before True Gentlemen of Georgia. It's showing somebody who lived one way, but it follows his transformation using the word of God. So showing that the prayers of the righteous availeth much. It shows how Terrence Lil T Johnson, how he takes those scriptures and how he processes them, and how, some things was a easy transformation, but some things just took so much time. We're going to show exactly how, when you're trying to do right, it feels like you get knocked 10 steps back, because that's really the enemy trying to show you that you can't escape me, and following God is worthless, when we all know that that is not true. And if you think that it's not true, hey, the homie's here for you. So we got a lot of things coming. Also had the opportunity to go up top. That's right. Had the offer to come to the Apollo. That was so amazing. And I got to thank WCEG for what they did to help the homie Ashton Reynolds out, to be prepared for it. And guess what? Like I said before, this is the last episode. at age 27, which means that I'm going to be another year older and just going to keep getting wiser. And I pray that this platform right here truly is something that people look at and absorb the knowledge and also continue to grow, because what God did was not just for me, but it was for you too. But if you don't understand it, you need somebody to help you out with it. The homies here. That's what it's all about. Also, Kingdom Building ATL. That is a show in which I host. You know, that is a show that presents all of the kingdom workers, all of the kingdom entrepreneurs, all of the kingdom artists. All of them will hit this platform. Everybody that is doing something in the kingdom. I would like for you all to subscribe to Kingdom Building ATL. And then if you want to be a guest on that television show as well, just don't be afraid to hit me up. I will send you the proper information so that way we can get that process going and get a date so that you can have a show on there as well. It is a variety show that features live music, interviews, comedy, multiple sitcom related vices that you see on television. All of these moving counterparts that come together to create such an incredible show. It has grown so fast. It's literally not even a month old, and it's already at 700 plus subscribers. I would love for you all to be there, because the reason why is because I look at those numbers and say, that's how many that the kingdom of God has reached. So the more that I see the numbers go up, the more that I see that the Lord is really working into people's lives. And that's all that I want to see right there. And so let me see. Great people. I love y'all so much. I really do. And like I said, there's a lot of things that are going on inside of this world. I know there were some things that people have regarding, you know, the Supreme Court and all of that stuff. Like I said, wisdom, understanding. That's all I want people to get right there. Get understanding. Get all of the facts and things like that. If you don't know all the facts, don't speak on it. So you got to know that there's a time and place for everything. What you don't know, don't speak on it. What you do know, you can speak on that. But if what you do know is the truth, live it out, because your actions speak louder than your words. So we know it's no game, no gimmicks, for sure. Y'all stay connected to all of the incredible shows here at WCEG Network if you haven't done so already. All of the awards and accolades that all of these hosts have garnered, especially the founder, Miss Penny Rogers, who I'm so thankful for. Listen, congratulations, and that excellence will continue to be happening, because all we do is just keep going higher and higher and higher, because we have the opportunity to do so. And I pray that this episode right here is not only informational, but also motivational, and helps to show you that, hey, we have people out here that really care about you, that really love you, that really support you, and actually are rooting for you. We're not too busy and too occupied inside of our own inner circle to not really care and love for our neighbor, because our Father says to love our neighbor. And that's what we're going to do, for his ways are not our ways. But if we accept him, then just know that his ways become our ways through the practicing of his word, because faith comes by hearing, and by hearing the word of God. So therefore, that's what we're going to continue to do. We're going to continue to show him. We're going to continue to show love, because those who don't know love don't know God, for God is love. And I know him because I love y'all. And he loved us so much that he gave us the most precious gift that anybody can give, so that we can be right with him, so that we can see exactly why the blessed side be the best side, straight up. Great people, this concludes this episode right here. I was so happy to have done it. Thank you all for all the support. Like I said, Becoming the Gentleman, that's coming real soon. I have 2 episodes out, and it's been well received. So many people have been wanting to nominate the 2nd episode for the award. Episode 3 is coming very soon. Matter of fact, it's coming Monday at 8 o'clock. And yeah, y'all continue to support it. And y'all continue to watch and support everything that everybody on this platform is doing. Like I said, it's the homie Kingdom Building ATL. Y'all go ahead and subscribe on YouTube. It's getting bigger and bigger, y'all. God bless you all. I love you all. Go vote. Remember, May 2nd is when it starts. Early voting starts May 2nd. That's a month from now. So y'all got time to do y'all research. If y'all want to research my guest, Valencia Stovall, www.goastovall.com. That's GOSTOVALL.com. Utilize those hashtags on social media, Stovall for Congress, and hashtag the buck, the book, the ballot. All right, y'all. This concludes it for real. This is the final ending. I love you all. God bless you all. Enjoy the rest of your day. And I'll see y'all next time. God